Well, an Enchantress is going to, somewhat keep it
Tide 5
sustainable.
Slaughter. Nice. Nice. Go the Tide 5. Let's go.
Yeah.
Screw the AM.
Screw the AM, I agree. AM 5, though. No, I'm kidding. It just seems like the
10
logical
seconds
response,
remaining.
right? An anti-mage, once you're out of mana on the Slardar, you don't really care. You're going to
5
be able to man
seconds
fight so much
remaining.
more effectively. The mana break
Dire
isn't
team back.
doing anything. You're going to build more into armor. You're going to minus his armor eventually, and then the bash just deals more and more as the game goes on. So it seems pretty damn effective. I wonder how Enchantress is at least going to be able to deal with it. And if they're going to go for any kind of lane swaps as well, right? Like a Slardar is one of those heroes that does need to get into melee range to be able to deal a lot of his damage, and he's not like ultra sustainable. So if you ran a Mars Marana into it, maybe you could like walk past him, spear him back into your tower, get the arrow off, and try and get some early kills that way. But I'm kind of grasping at straws here.
So they could give the AM to Makoto and play it versus the Ember mid if they wanted to.
Radiant
The only
team
reason I'm
back.
bringing this up is because, and it's a pub, but I saw Black playing on his stream recently, and he played the anti-mage versus the Ember mid. Now, keep in mind, he had a Spirit Breaker for some reason as a position 1, so they kind of needed some win condition on as
Did
as
they
a
win
2.
the game?
Dire team ban.
They had a couple people calling quits, and I'm not going to
Did
name
they
and
win
shame.
the game?
They didn't, but he performed very well.
I see.
I'm trying to see what they can do because we've seen Slardar against the Anti-Mage is a very good matchup. They have made it a little bit more bearable for Neon picking up the Enchantress. It's relatively good to be able to purge off the sprint in the lane, but also he is one of the better 5. So I really wonder if this actually will give them maybe a mediocre lane, just a little bit more farm than what he would have with a worse position 5.
The other question is, what are
10
Neon now going to
seconds
pick? Like,
remaining.
let's say they go down your avenue with, this, you've been a Black
5
fanboy,
seconds
and
remaining.
you run the anti-mage mid into the Ember Spirit. They don't have last pick overall. So if they pick something that's very obviously a carry, then suddenly you could just adjust the lanes again. You could put the Slardar into the mid lane, so you're still playing against the anti-mage, right? So what's something that's going to be good across both roles?
I don't know if you can flex Ember though. Like I feel like this hero is not like a position 1 that he was played like a while ago.
We've seen it played in China as a 4, so anything's possible.
Let's see, you go Ember 4, Tide 5, Lion something. I
think Neon could just like Monkey King, and they should be okay with that.
Yeah, if you're going down that route of wanting the flexibility between the AM and someone to go to, then definitely. I think.
Oh, it's banned. It was first banned. Never mind.
All right, well, they get a pretty good matchup versus the Ember Spirit in the mid lane. There's not a lot of stuns to deal with Quap at the moment. I mean, as the game goes on, it's definitely not easy, but you should have a relatively solid lane if you can snowball it into your favor. It does feel like a solid hero for Makoto too.
10 seconds.
I feel like they got plenty of stuns to be able to deal with this, right? Even just the Searing
5
Chain
seconds
setup, right?
remaining.
Unless you go, like, even if you try and Yule Scepter out of it, you're always going to have a stun there after the fact with, an Earth Spike or whatever going to be coming out of it. So I feel like this is going to be a super early BKB game that Makoto is going to need to go for. And, they're going to need to be brawling constantly with the Enchantress, Quap Marana, and Mars just to try and create some space for the AM.
Could we be seeing the Drow like you've been asking for? Seems pretty good with the Tide 5. Just put the body in front. If
maybe like a gyrocopter. I want to see a gyro.
Into the Mars?
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like Drow's.
Oh yes, yeah.
When you compare it, right? Yeah. Like if there's any kind of draft that wants to run at you, if you've got a gyrocopter with farm, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage to the enemy team in response. They got Terrorblade. I mean, it's not bad. They don't have great illusion clear right now. And if we go all the way back to Warcraft 3 lore, you do have, I think Anti-Mage was like regular Illidan, and Terrorblade is Burning Legion Illidan. Do you know who I'm talking about? Did you ever play Warcraft?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
No. Hang on. I thought you were just talking about the players.
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about Warcraft lore right now.
No. Unfortunately, Warcraft lore is I'm not caught up to date with. But
like 15 years old, bro. Come on.
yeah, sorry.
But anyway, the TB. I wonder if we'll see something different as well. Like, no, it's not that. I was thinking maybe like an Aghanim Scepter, just so that you have consistent ways to fight on Jackie super early on, and just even more team fight disruption. It's one of those ways as well. If you're able to use it onto an anti-mage, right, you're going to be feared for that little bit of time. You can't use that counter spell either to be able to try and to break out of it. I don't think it would be a bad Ags game on TV. I'm going for Motivate.
Yeah, I like the last pick terribly as well. I feel like you have multiple ways to be able to utilize the minus armor you have with the Tide and the Slaughter. Ember can even go into the Slight Orb of Corrosion to amplify that. As the game goes on, Quap's not going to have a decent time. The only reason why I was thinking Quap might be okay, because I feel like the mid matchup's going to go pretty well. Slaughter, Echo Saber, Blink. So if you get the Blink at a bit of a later timing, it might give you a window then to snowball, which Makoto, I don't know, this guy is pretty crazy. We saw what he could do last game on the Shadow Fiend, but it's not going to be easy once the game goes on at all.
Prepare for battle.
No, for sure. Even if he does opt to go into the Orb of Corrosion build, Quap's got pretty healthy armor. I think just below 4 to start with, I think. It's like 3.7. She's gone for a little bit more in the stats from the circlet and the couple of branches that are going to help her out a little bit there. So I don't even know if the Orb of Corrosion build is the go. And it's going to be what Fearless goes for, though. He's level 29 on this Ember Spirit as well, by the way. So 30 on the Storm, 29 on the Ember Spirit. He needs to pick it up a little bit there. So he's got the fancy logo on all of them.
Fearless was one of the players on Motivate that plays a ridiculous amount, right? It's him and Masros, yeah, that have the contention.
They've got a very high rivalry between themselves as well. They always want to be playing into each other, so they can be the ones on the winning end as well. They're looking for a really aggressive move here, even getting the deny from set 0.
Nice split away from the Earth Spike, but still look at the initial connection to pick up First Blood. And now even 458's going to be cautious, but he still has a skill point available if he needs to put that one into the blink. So we'll trade a kill for kill. Motivate, of course, able to find First Blood, given to Q. Makoto did still get a kill nonetheless, so that might be able to help his lane out a little bit. 458 counter spell. Ingenual is just going to fall, so the second kill for Motivate. And how the bounty runes looking? Believe it is a 2 for 2.
What does 458 do now? Like, you've got counterspell into this lane. Like, sure, you're going to be able to stop the Earth Spike from hitting you, but I don't think that's the main concern right now. You can see how heavily he's blocking. He's just like, please get these creeps as close to my tower as possible. And Zhao, he's going to need to pop off to try and harass out. Do they have a decent amount of regen? They do. Lion's got 2 sets of tangos, Masros with a bracer, so I think they should both be feeling pretty fine.
The Enchantress is one of the better laning supports against the Lion. This is a hero that can trade a lot more effectively with your starting stats, 320 movement speed, 4 armor, a little bit. Is the damage different? No, it's a little less damage, but of course the enchant creep is going to help mitigate that. The difference between the Lion, and also this is a hero that's a very single target, so you don't have the greatest way to be able to deal off with the enchant creeps, and they haven't blocked the hard camp just yet on Dire, so really see if Genuel can give 458 a lane or not.
I think that is going to be incredibly important for him to pick up the Seder Tormentor, right? Like, just for the extra passive regen that's going to come out from that. An extra 5 regen in the laning stage for an anti-mage that's going to be copping a decent amount of harass is so important.
They got a bit of issues with the lanes. We'll see if that can reset. As top, how's this looking at the moment? Set 0, taking a lot of damage, in fact, but guess doing what he needs to be doing to protect Jackie and enable his farm.
So picking up that Tormentor. So Q looking to put a little bit of harass in onto Zhao, but he's going to take just as much for himself.
Not for you.
Inadvertently getting a stack off there, actually.
Makoto mid lane, he's looking pretty solid at the moment. 10 last hits compared to the only 5 on Fearless as they end up losing Zhao Yu top. There will be a trade in set 0, but got some stick charges, one more leap, and Hustler will get some retribution.
I do like seeing this tied 5. You know, you see these position 5s these days that are
Radiant's
very...
turret has been killed.
A bit of a kill attempt going in onto Q here, but that's the Blink leveled up, so he's not going to be able to deal out enough damage, I don't think, to be able to deal with him.
One more impetus. Oh, Q tried to mitigate some of the damage with that step back. 458's still actually going to stay in man fight. Astros is out of mana, so the now final point in mana burn's not going to do as much damage as they're hoping, but they pick up a kill in a lane where you'd be well and truly happy with how it's going for Neon.
My deepest thanks.
Very close to getting that pull off, unfortunately. Not the case, but Genuel, we saw how he was able to play in the first game, and it looks like looking very, very solid once again here. But still, this Ember matchup, it's not looking very good. Makoto's putting Fearless to work here. Is he? Should be fine. See,
Stack off for himself, and he'll be able to pick up that bounty rune as well. Be careful about going down here on Fearless, actually, just to the neutral creeps. Ooh, hopefully for his sake, he doesn't end up using those bottle sips while he's still got that debuff on him.
Never refuse gold.
Just expires, so nicely done.
top lane.
Yeah, it's one of those
Another kill, Setziron and Xiaoyu. They're going to be able to pick up the kill before the Mars dies. They will. The Anki Smash reduction. So not enough there, unfortunately. So that's another one to find here from Neon. They've got 5 kills stacked up. It looks like top is got relatively decent as well. The 20 last hits from Xiaoyu compared to the 18 on Jackin. I still got another potential of using the Metamorphosis once the tide comes back. So they could find a kill with it, but Setzero is going to look to try and give Fearless a little bit of catch up with TPing and refilling the bottle.
I mean, you've still got to have to contend with using that the Slide of Fizz super early on means that you're always going to be able to land with the Shadow Strike, and even looking to put the second point into the Scream of Pain just so that damage gets doubled, and you know, even if you've got the 2 points into the Flame Guard, it's not going to be doing too much for your survivability.
I think the nice thing for Fearless is that he does have lanes that he can rotate to. The double stun down bot, you've got a lot of kill threat there with the Remnant. Top lane, if Metamorphosis is available, you can definitely rotate to that side of the map as well, as we're already seeing Xiaoyu. It's gonna, arrow? Oh, it's not enough to get some distance away. Setzero will still get the kill. They might trade on Jackie though. He's got a lot of armor, but it's not enough as Hustler showing up on the Mirana here.
Making sure he got the double proc onto his Starstorm there. Very valuable turnaround kill, and even just with the Blightstone, meaning that the harass is consistently there. At least they're going to be able to avoid, like, Makoto is level 6, and Fearless is not even level 5 yet. At least he's going to be able to avoid the Centaur Conqueror coming in to potentially kill him.
It's not the easiest matchup to be able to dodge the daggers. And you see he has to heavily commit into the Flame Guard build. So not the consistent harass that we see a lot with that slide. That does give him at least some way to be able to farm some stacks. So we'll see maybe if the team can put him on the back there for a little bit.
Lucky for Fearless, it's a regen rune on the top side. Pick that one up. A little surprised that Makoto didn't actually end up going for that one, considering he had the vision on the bottom side of the river. Even getting the D-ward off, so nicely done there. Some more valuable experiences going Fearless's way, and like you mentioned, you're going to have that rotation potential coming through shortly, so every little bit of experience matters.
I'll tell you what, this lane for 458 should be not going as well as what it is. He's ahead in the last hits. I believe he's just behind net worth, and it's pretty much even at the moment, but
you'd have to say that's on Zhao, though. Like, he's been doing a phenomenal job.
And he leveled Counterspell level 1 as well, which does not give you... I mean, your level 1 on AM is very weak. It doesn't make it any better. Just fascinating to see how they've actually just bodied this bottom lane. 458. His tread's completed. Top lane, they are going to try and make an attempt on Xiaoyu, so Q abandoning the Slardar down bot. But it looks like Xiao Yu's going to be okay. So this is a little bit of time wasted. And the fact that he can hold his life. They're now even going to TP up Makoto, who's got the Sonic Wave. They want Jackie. Zero not as valuable as a kill. They'll still get it nonetheless. Maybe they can turn to find a secondary in the support as the spear can line up for the arrow. Jackie's committing very heavily for the kill on Makoto. Now it's put himself in a compromised position where there is no escape. So with the rotation from Makoto, picking up a incredible triple kill overall for the team.
I mean, that would be the ideal time for Fearless to have rotated. He'll get the Korea, so no phase boots for the Mars, but, you know, that's the sort of thing. You can't let your TB be dying. You know, you just see the difference there between Game 1 and Game 2. How many times did Jackie even die in Game 1? It wasn't many.
That's a good question. I think...
Yeah, he died once, and he's already died twice now on the Terrorblade. So similar sort of scaling potential, but Zero, he even cups a solo arena right to the face. Benefit of the Kraken Shell, of course, is that you shrug it off.
Oh. Hustle is just aiming for that creep.
Fearless going for the kill, but that first rotation up is completely negated by the use of a simple Moonlight Shadow.
Oh. Things gone. Still, the net worth lead is not too high in Neon's favor, considering the 9 kills, but Makoto's already got 1 Oblivion Staff completed. So, looking for a very early rush in the Orchid. They've already scouted this out, or at least the recognition is there for Fearless, as he's got the Yule Scepter being worked on. So, see if we can find this at a decent timing to increase his survivability. Once again, Set Zero. Wonderful. You give this to Makoto, man. He's up there dominating now. And if you get... I feel like you just need the Queen of Pain to snowball. And at least the stage that I was expecting, he's definitely hitting.
Sure, even looking to put some tower pressure on. He doesn't have a TP available, so the Sonic Wave being up in 10 seconds shouldn't result in anything. Although he's got it about to come out to him.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I cannot believe they took the tier 1 down, but that twice now we've seen the AM somehow have better lanes than we were expecting versus the Slaughter. And now Set Zero should just be dead.
He's TP here, buddy.
That's a lot of TPs coming through. Makoto just gonna try and bring him down from 4 to 0 before they show up, but unfortunately for the anti-mage, this will be his first death. There's no messing around. Q just dropping the Hex, and those rainbow TPs helping out, but you see instantly answered to mid as Neon wanted to try and put another tower into the grave.
It's another one of these instances where it's great being able to have a Chen or an Enchantress there. The Hellbear Smasher just tanking up so many of the the tower hits that you can just continue to commit on here.
Tower is under attack.
Okay. His towers are now going to give a lot more space to Makoto to do work, and also if they want to try and infiltrate Genuel. Bit of a sacrifice of the life, considering no one else was there. He wasn't really popping a smoke or anything, so he was level 6 as well early on, so you're giving some experience away to Motivate. Also first Finger of Death stack.
I mean, very important for Fearless in particular, right? He suffered heavily in the laning stage. He's sitting down towards the bottom of the cores in terms of net worth, but with that kill, right, the assist, and the lane that it freed up, it's going to allow him to, you know, start to build more into his next item. It's going to be a Yule Scepter. Great, of course, like we were saying before, for being able to set up onto a Queen of Pain in particular.
Okay, so MG.Trust is going Midas.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
You know, it means that you have some scaling, and of course, I feel like Midas is one of the most efficient attack speed items in the game that you can get. That's always going to transition to later on. So with a Slider, you always want to be getting off those bashes that deep. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, Slider is definitely some of the heroes that I don't mind with the Hand of Midas. He also level scales really well with him as well. The talents are really cool. I think with the level 20 in the crush damage along with your Aghanim Shard, you can actually one-hit creep waves with the crush, and that's something Slider has never been able to do, so he's always had big issue with shoving out waves as the game goes on.
Does it, I haven't tested it, does it apply So just hover over the shard for a sec. So causes Scissoring Crush to apply Corrosive Haze for 5 seconds. Does it act similar to Desolator in that it applies the haze before the damage from the crush actually goes through?
That's a great question. I have to imagine, because I don't... yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be enough damage with just the talent combined to it. So it must be the haze before the damage. Yeah, otherwise what? Yeah, the damage would
Getting ready for a smoke to come through. Yep, so we got level 6 now on set 0. He can look to join, although he might just look to play behind Jackie for now. Looking to secure the TB's farm while the rest of the roaming gang squad tries to make something happen. It's going to be without that Finger of Death, though. And 458, again, has to be careful about where he's showing himself in the lane. They know that they've been off the map for the longest time.
458 chains, they get the connection. Early use of the counter spell, and MG.Trust even in the low ground. Get that crush connection simultaneously. Quite out the Tide Hunter, but nowhere near as valuable of a target as what the Anti-Mage is.
Again, though, he did his job, Set Zero. You know, he caught out a gank, he forced the arena to be popped to even kill him, and it means that Jackie's able to continuously farm. He'll back off there in time. To remember as well that you've got this Enchantress against the TB with his illusions, so have to be very careful with that positioning.
Do you want to see Radiant maybe smoke again? Because they haven't gotten anything out of this Orchid just yet, or potentially wait for the arena to come back up?
I think you got to wait for the arena. They'll know that they didn't. The Ravage wasn't used to hurt them. Oh no, they got an idea of where 458 might be farming here. Are they going to place up a ward? I don't think they even have it.
Neon are nearby.
They don't have any detection.
458's actually going to look to give them vision. Have this initial stun lock for Slaughter, unless Xiao Yu can get the connection. So they'll just target down Q off to the lane. Should be able to clean off the line. Let's see what more they can get out of this. And it looks like, yeah, MG.Trust unable to retreat fast enough. So nice positioning from Neon, almost anticipating how Motivate we're trying to set up. And meanwhile, Xiao Yu again is caught out set 0. So it's going to be 8 deaths. This is early 8 deaths. Set 0. We stacked them up quite heavily.
Around my neck.
The prize is mine.
A little bit unexpected. I mean, I feel like the strength of having the Tide Hunter, sure, you do a decent job of shoving out lanes, but not with only the 1 point into the Anchor Smash. And you had the Ravage available, so the fact that he wasn't with the team, the fact that they didn't have any detection is, again, Motivate, they're very good when they're firing on all cylinders, but when they're making these unforced errors, like I was mentioning before, it just doesn't feel like they're anywhere near as strong.
For 458, his big farming item is officially online. Only 600 gold behind the Terrorblade, so he's going to be really happy about that. He's probably hoping for a little bit faster of a Battle Fury timing, but that one death slowing it down by a little bit. See how much space he can find. The big item for him is now the Manta. That gives him so much survivability just to get, maybe purge off the Corrosive Haze, but more importantly, get out of the chains. That's the big extra lockdown that they need to secure the kill. And well, for Neon, they're adding another one to the tally, finding the Lion, but they're going to be answers from Motivate coming through. Set 0 will charge up the Ravage, finds connection onto 3, but they haven't been able to find any kills just yet. Maybe with Jackie and Fearless showing up, this is the damage that we're needing to find them, as the lockdown on Makoto's there, but the extra follow-up is not. As Makoto can blink back to safety. Neon not really in fighting shape. They know 458 really cannot get involved, so they can just still commit on forward. A Sonic Wave to push them back. But Makoto, unfortunately, just doesn't have the health to survive through all the damage that they're racking up at the moment. As Hustler even trying to make it a life and death play here, but that'll cost him his life before he gets the kill.
Yeah, it's a very armor-oriented lineup. You know, you've got the Gush, you've got the Corrosive Haze, and you've got a Terrorblade with an Ember Spirit to be able to dish out so much physical damage in all these different team fights. So he hasn't chosen to put any talent points in on the Ember Spirit, but wouldn't surprise me to see that that plus 15 damage being what Fearless is choosing to opt for. And look at that, he's even going for the Blightstone on top of everything. So no goal of corrosion, but you know, if we're able to get the Blightstone into the Desolator, then it's pretty deadly. I mean, if any target gets picked off, it's very like 1-to-1 right now for Motivate. They're not going for these huge AoE damage team fights. It's just pick off one hero, then the next, then the next, then the next. And it feels very coordinated when they're finally able to get their communication right. Got to be careful down south though, Jackie. I think you should know. He walked into Mikoto there as he was in his invis, so the body block was real.
See if they have the damage at the moment without the Sonic Wave. Might be able to get the Sunder off. Oh, nice blink from Mikoto.
Nicely done.
Very lucky. Hustler was a little slow on the Solar Crest as well, so I thought maybe he might have been able to live there.
Masteros gonna look to reveal the blink mid.
Healing power.
A little bit late on the force to get Xiaoyu out of position.
Ended up pushing him even closer to Zhao. If he died after that, I'm sure he would have had a few choice words for Xiaoyu.
Still so scary at the moment for Neon. They were probably hoping to get a lot more kills out of the Orchid and blink timing that they had previously, and now this has given enough time for Motivate to find their own blink on Masteros, who's just going to look to continue to hunt across the map. I feel like wherever the anti-mage is farming, you want to be contesting him, especially with level 12 now. And for the Ember Spirit, Fearless has done a very good job to be able to catch up in farm. He's only about a grand behind the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for as bad as the lane went for him, if I asked you, would you honestly think that Fearless had died 0 times? Because he has.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I was just... I mean, Mikoto played the lane exceptionally well. They're going to make an attempt. Spear just shy, connecting to the tree, and now going to target the backline. Ravage to chain lock down Mikoto perfectly. They're going to force him once again the wrong direction. That's a big kill to pick up on Mikoto, further delaying the snowball that you need from the Queen of Pain in this game. As Fearless not done just yet. Looking to try and add an extra kill to the Talon. That they will.
They could Roche with this. No arena reduces your teamfight potential by so much, and any kind of Slardar draft always wants to be able to try and take this Roshan really quickly.
Oh, this will give Motivate a big opportunity now. Maybe next Ravage they'll look for a fight. They've got Blink on set 0 as well, so really the only item he feels like he needs is a position 5. Kuko Solar Crest next potentially.
Yeah, it's not gonna be enough.
Roshan has
I don't mind the Solar
fallen
Crest at all. I think it's a great item. Still, even with the nerfs that it seems to keep taking, it's one of the most versatile items that you could possibly have in the game. You can use it onto a creep wave to help push, or to help keep the creep alive. You can use it to chase. You can use it to help carries move between camps when they're farming. Defensive properties. Like, it's an amazing item for basically all aspects.
458 at least does have the Manta now completed, so this does at least make his game somewhat easier. So see how cautious he is right now, with no one showing on the map. Exactly how you need to be with Q and Masteros. These are your aggressive heroes, and doing exactly what they're doing. It's just putting a little bit of pressure on. So that map pressure, just that unawareness, the uneasiness of maybe they're rotating, maybe they're not.
It's going into a bit of an in-between item next. Looks like the Echo Saber coming up for 458, just to assist with a little bit of that farm, get some extra mana burns done to begin the team fights. Of course, with the Manta style, you can set up for a nice mana void. But we've seen so many times the disassembled meta being real, and I'm sure he'll look to break that one down eventually so that he can look to build into a BKB.
Poor old Hustler.
Hustler's been spotted.
That he has.
Just his second death.
He's had a very solid game as well. Tried to delay this bottom push because Motivate were smoking to try and link up with Jackie, who looks like he's a bit out of mana here, but they should still be able to take the position too. Radiant. I don't know if this ever gets to a stage where AM can then 5v1, because I feel like Mikoto is... Like, now this is a difficult game for the Queen of Pain. BKB is going to be the next game-breaking item for him to help at least mitigate a lot of the stun issues, but... man, AM's going to need a lot.
Eos is back here. He's doing his best to try and keep the tower safe, and he will stop them from all-out pushing into him. So, tier 2 tower. going Motivate's way, you kind of would
Can they
expect
kill
it to
him?
be the case.
Well, they burnt all his mana up so fast, however. That was going to take a lot longer.
That.
Dire's top tower is
Yeah, he's
under
got the
attack.
talent for the max mana burn additional bonus.
They're going to get the tower too. Oh, I have Glyph. Have they got TPs though?
Dire's top tower is
So
under
we're just going
attack.
to look to
They
run.
don't have meta, so I don't think so. Alright, scratch that. Never mind.
Sure, just gives him a bit of a window now. Bars with the BKB and
They
Queen of
should be
Pain.
able to get away. So you were talking about, like, Jackie a couple of times has been out of mana. I don't think anyone should get caught out here. I was actually reading on Twitter a little bit earlier today about this cool idea for a Terrorblade where you get Dragonlance as well as Oblivion Staff, and every single time your meta runs out, you disassemble the Dragonlance into an Ogre Club, so you get the Echo Saber for the bonus mana regen, and then you just do the same thing when you're about to pop meta, so you've got
Radiant's
the
top
Dragonlance.
tower
So, like,
is under attack.
you're strong in both melee and range form. Seems like a pretty cool idea to me.
Sounds like a lot of disassembling.
I mean, that's what Dota is these days, you know?
Yeah. Jackie's quite the high MMR. See if he can ever fills at a stage where just micro god as well.
He lost his #1 though. He was #1 for the biggest time. I think VT Faded's got #1 now.
Dire's bottom tower is under
He's
attack.
been out there grinding. He just hit 12k, I believe.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're trying to set up on 458.
Now, I don't think they'll make the same mistake as Neon did last time. They were pushing the exact same tower, but 40 seconds left on the Aegis, so they're going to back out well before.
458.
The bash.
He blinked in. They might have to drop the Ravage here, Makoto. Is it going to be enough for the Sonic Wave pushback? And he's not. I don't know who he orchid it as well. Maybe it was Set Zero. The Kraken Shell just popped it, and Phyllis is still hunting. BKB potentially into a TP out, Makoto. Gonna look for a blink into that. Hustler, he'll also make it as well.
Set Zero got hit by an arrow. That's why he wasn't able to immediately get the Ravage off afterwards. So it was close, but still able to dodge it.
Coin of the realm.
Yeah, I thought he orchided the Tide and then Sonic Wave, so the Kraken Shell popped it.
Right, yeah.
Because that's a big kill to find nonetheless on the Anti-Mage. Who's keeping up there with the Terrorblade, who just continues to feel like he's about 1,000 ahead. Never too much further than that. Jackie's doing a very good job to keep his farm. This guy he completed, so a lot of stats at the moment for the Terrorblade, and even furthering his survivability with the BKB as his next item.
This is what I really like about the Tide 5, is that sure, you use the Ravage, but again, it's just a pos 5 that use the Ravage. Like, Kraken Shot immediately gets rid of any kind of aggressive movement. You should still die. Maybe
They are
not.
mass TPing in.
Nature attend us.
Xiaoyu, they might just sacrifice Januel. It just depends who are Motivate going to look to lock into, and well, with the help of the Ember and the Lion, they'll get both of them.
They want both.
The greediness coming into play. They know they have so much mobility and are
Makoto
used
wants
into
Set Zero.
fruition.
Bottom tower is under attack.
He had to TP out. He didn't want to use the Blink aggressively and risk his life. With the Slider in the region, you're always going to have that BKB piercing disable from the bash of the D.
Well, they have wasted the Aegis though. Like, Dia didn't get much out of it. I think just a tier 2 down bot.
I think you're fine with that. You know, you were also able to get the kill onto the Anti-Mage, and top's sitting low-ish, so they have decent control to be able to contest the next Roche. I think that's probably where Motivate are going to look to play around for the next couple of minutes or so, is just the enemy triangle. If you lose your, well, not the tier 3, but if the lane's pushing all the way into your base, I don't think you care all that much. And, you know, as long as you're able to take away a lot of these TP points that Neon might be looking to protect, then I think you can feel pretty satisfied with that.
Dire are scanning.
Actually, maybe making a play here onto the Quap. It's only Jackie and Set Zero in the region, but you've got that Solar Crest on the Tide Hunter now, so you have to be very careful. Are they going to go for this?
They're going to be instant Ravage drops. Is it damage enough for the Terror Blade? The bonus plate mail armor. Just keeping Makoto alive. Incredible itemization there from Makoto. I mean, he does have to commit the BKB just in case there was any extra follow-up, but simultaneously Radiant, they're looking to catch out some of the own heroes on Motivate. They won't find anyone at the triangle.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still caught with his int treads and the Van Brace up, but yeah, like you mentioned, that plate mail doing enough to be able to protect him against all of that right-click damage. So, you know, it ends up costing them a big cooldown on Motivate's side, but it gives them information. You know, they know that they can't make that sort of play again.
Actually, looking for a smoke here on Motivate. So with the Ravage on cooldown, Metamorphosis down as well. They still feel like they're in a position where they can definitely look to try and take a fight. But again, it's just the consistent cat and mouse game. What do you know? It's a good old anti-mage game. Always what it feels like it is. They've got a nice ward from Dire, at least in the Tinker location. So they're going to get some information of the side of Neon hiding in the tree line. Without the Ravage in the AoE, we'll see if it's still going to punish them. Set zero. Looking to jump. Q with the follow-up as well. They're a little bit too shy. So big use of the Sonic Wave's going to burst through both the supports on Motivate. I feel like Neon can take the fight. They know the meta's on cooldown. Oh, big issues though. Makoto cannot. The double damage on Fearless just rips him apart. And now Mirana too. Never mind, they cannot take that fight.
Honestly, I was in the same boat as you. I thought that was a big mistake coming through from Motivate. You know, blinking in, no Ravage, no Metamorphosis, but all that minus armor stays the same no matter if you've got cooldowns or not.
Yeah, my lord. I mean, Ember did so much damage, even TB just with the right clicks. So this is gonna get much more difficult to deal with now as well. MG.Trust just hitting level 18. So with the minus 20 in the Corrosive Haze. And what Fearless as well. That's his BKB, 9-second duration. He's got the Quickening Charm. Also the 20 talent for the plus 65 Sleight of Fist hero damage. So, you know, we're seeing how much damage he can really start to dish out in these fights.
And even MG.Trust, you know, as long as he's not being kited around, which will be difficult
Can
for
they
him.
kill 458? Fearless is doing a lot of damage, but they don't have the control to stop the BKB.
Yeah, as long as he's not getting kited around, which he's got the BKB, so that's going to be hard. Now he's got the Paladin Sword as well, so he is very tanky. All of that attack speed coming out from the hand of Midas is pretty damn handy for him.
It's very much to help out with some of his levels as well. Almost at that 20 stage.
They scouted the Roche with the arrow, so both teams know what's up. Cover of smoke, everyone but Makoto.
Radiant can't take a 5-on-5 fight, I believe, into ultimates and meta. They need a pick off and then to get out instantly, but MG.Trust's a bit out of position. Spear's gonna reposition him further away from the rest of the assistants at zero, dropping the Ravage, so giving him ample time to get the BKB off. So look to trade a 1-for-1. The anti-mage gonna give him that capability, but now with the backline, Makoto, blink away, here's the safety, Fearless, and Jackie's gonna turn their attention now to the Mirana. Finger of Death will zap him.
Oh, I mean, 458, he gets the kill onto the Tidehunter, but I'm not sure if that's worth using your Mana Void onto. You know, it's a support Tidehunter at the end of the day, and that just opens up Roche to be taken totally free.
Egg shot 2. They're gonna give that to Jackie? Interesting. Really
Right.
wouldn't.
Well, it's always good to be able to do something during your melee stage, I suppose. He's just holding on to it for now. Maybe giving it over to Fearless? I wouldn't mind it on him.
Okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, he's going Ags next. Okay, cool.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Alright, well, there's nice synergy here to be able to combine both the Shard and the Scepter together.
Yeah, and even just from the Shard on its own, you've got the fact that if a hero dies, you get another Remnant charge. Considering how single target oriented Motivate's lineup is, I feel like that's just going to enable Fearless so much
Dire's
more.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and he just wants to cause as much chaos as possible. Always it feels like the Ember does, but just get on the Enchantress, the Mirana, I feel like the important one is going to be the Mirana. Just really mitigate potentially that chain lockdown that you have the spear into arrow. Could give them a window. They are trying to set up on Fearless, but I do not believe Genuel and 458 can do it. Maybe a force into the Centaur Conqueror they're looking for.
Oh, they tried. Get away just in time, though. And that's actually kind of a big deal. Like, yeah, you missed the kill, but now also with the new level 15 talent on the Mirana, the extra 20 evasion, with all of the physical damage that Motivate have, that is a big thing to not have in this next team fight.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Sure, it's a very interesting talent that they gave the Mirana at 15. Wonder how much
I'm attributing it to a lot of my wins. That happens.
What's the other one? Yeah, 80 leap attack speed. You good.
Another to the tally.
It's almost always good.
Makoto. It's going up the high gun. It just sits here on MG.Trust at the moment. They don't chain lock down perfectly. Just a slither of a window for Makoto. The BKB off.
Careful here.
Actually,
Q's found him.
Don't jump back on. Q's
That's a BKB on your lion.
Q's so farmed. Good. Tide nearby. I don't think they care about Set Zero. They are coming over, MG.Trust. Completely out of mana now. They've also purged off.
Damage empowers me.
See, it's just, again, split the map. That's all you can really hope for. Also look to itemize as much armor as possible. So Shiva's completed on the Queen of Pain. Lotus Orb completed on the Mars as well. Even Genuel. So yeah, a lot of armor. The recognition that Motivate. It's the way they're able to deal with the heroes. It's, well, poor old Xiao. Is 458 going to jump in and help? MG.Trust is out of mana, but at least he gets the sprint off. Now, Fearless has to pop a pretty early BKB, but Dire, they're converging on the area. Terrorblade and Tide, both revealing their own positioning. Xiao Yu with the BKB should be able to get out of dodge. And everyone's out.
No one dies again. It feels to me, though, like Motivate, they're so close to being able to pick up a few of their next key items. Fearless so close to his Aghanim Scepter. You just saw the TB pick up the Hurricane Pike, which he's going to try and use for the next minute 20 seconds that he's got on the Aegis. So I think it's one big push that they're looking to go for in the next little bit of time here on Motivate's side.
Do you still feel like they're pretty comfortable, though, with heading into the late game?
I think so. I feel like you've got multiple cores that are going to be able to scale. Again, Slardar is just going to get bigger and bigger. You can see he's going into an AC, which, you know, when you were highlighting all the different armor items that Neon had, I was like, oh, okay, is anyone on their side going an AC? But it doesn't look like it, prioritizing the Heaven's Halberd on Xiao Yu instead. So the Midas armor is just going to continue to ramp up, and Masros is going to be the key reason for it. Even -4 corrosive haze armor, sure, with a talent. Careful here, 458.
Oh, look to try and burst down Q. Can he kill him off fast enough and they get away? The bash once again, 458. Oh my god, Jackie, one more right click might be enough. Ooh, the tower bonus armor, but it doesn't matter. Got the reflection. Oh, he's got no buyback too. And this is a catapult wave.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They're in big trouble here, Neon. They might lose 2. I don't know if they just go T4s.
I think you test the waters and see, you know, do they have buyback? And the answer is no.
Yeah, they're going to see how the tides are flowing. The ages will tick, but maybe a big arena sonic wave. See what they can hope for. They're going to look to charge it up. The instant BKB is Jackie will give them now no opportunity. This will turn just a beat onto the Bulwark. Guardian on the Mars. They're doing whatever they can to clean off the backline. The Xiao Yu does have a buyback, but instantly that's answered in the Lions. So they've wasted the Metamorphosis duration. But Zero just looking for the target. He'll find both of them as the Mars even blinked on top of it. But the Queen of Pain still has a buyback available. They need to try and protect Xiao Yu. Unfortunately, that's a dieback for your Mars. Now with the Queen of Pain as well is in trouble for another dieback, as it looks like Motivate will be able to take this series 2-0, and the Anti-Mage will not work out this time.
Radiant's Ancient is under.
I'm happy that the Anti-Mage didn't work out. It's like I said, I am not a big fan of do-nothing heroes, and I feel like an anti-mage is one of the highest do-nothing heroes in the entire game, in that you're just abandoning your entire team until you get at least 2 items. And I feel like, even against this lineup with 2 items, with the Battle Fury and the Manta style, he wasn't able to go in and pop a big mana void onto someone because, I mean, look at it. You've got Jackie, Masaros, and Set Zero who have very small mana pools. Fearless, I thought by the time he picked up by the time he picked up the Manta, he had a BKB, and Q, again, it's not really the target that you want to go for. So I was feeling very strong with Motivate's draft, and I felt like they played very well together this time around. Just itemizing completely around that minus armor component that they had, and I felt like it came together quite nicely.
I think it was a solid overall performance as well, with how Fearless was able to at least make somewhat of a game. His lane was looking very difficult to have a performance, but in the end, he even died. He died once. So 1 death on Fearless, 3 deaths on Jackie, where we were saying in that lane, he'd already died twice as well. So for Neon, their lanes were looking a lot better than what I was expecting, especially the anti-mage's lane as well. But we saw the impact coming through overall and how they were able to kind of bleed a couple of kills on Neon, which gave them a very slight window to maybe find a way back in. But with the lineup that you have, and quite often anti-mage drafts, you've got a very narrow window to make mistakes. And we saw this time it was just a little bit too often they were making those mistakes. And it's off the back of Motivate as well, with how they're able to make these smoke maneuvers. They were consistently trying to find these engagements, recognizing how strong of a lineup they really had. And we're still pretty confident with how they could perform going into the late game. They didn't even need to do that, though, taking the game 37 minutes in. And yes, it was...
I mean, it's just like little things as well, right? At the end, how long did that game go for? 37 minutes? And you still had 458 holding onto a pupil's gift. So it felt like he was so afraid to join any kind of team fights, even once he's got, a Skadi, a BKB, a Manta Star, like tons of stats. And he did the second least damage on the team when you had Makoto with an Elven Tunic right there. That is exactly what Anti-Mage needed to be able to try and put in a little bit more damage and feel somewhat safer on top of everything that he already has. That evasion component, it just felt like with the AM, it felt like if he blinked in, he was just resigning himself to death because of all of the bashes and everything else that Motivate had in their arsenal. But yeah, it's another loss coming through from Neon. What does that move them to? I think it's like 3-7, I believe.
Yeah, they are 3-7, and for Motivate, they're going to jump up to 7-5 now. So still holding their 3rd place position, and overall continuing to show some dominance here for the BTS Pro Series Season 8. Next up, we got the top of the table versus 4th place. It'll be SMG taking on Dreammaker, one of the open qualifier teams. We'll see how they're able to fare, though, versus the top dogs, because SMG have been looking incredibly strong so far through the group stages. But will that continue? Or will the underdogs be able to take a map, or even potentially the series as well? We'll find out after a break.